Side D begins with Where's the Shura? What's a Shura, you might wonder? Well, after a little quick look up and search, some have claimed that it's an Arabic term meaning advice or guidance. I can't confirm it for absolute sure, but given the context of both the music and the lyrics of this song, it may be a bit likely. In it, Elton sings about a woman who grows up fast like Pampers. No, not the nappy brand company. But the Pampers refer to like a specific field of grass in the South Americas. But this woman also is very spiteful and sinful. So she, or rather Elton's mama in the lyrics, asks about where is the Shura, likely asking for help or guidance for this young woman. With this in mind, the piano and the backing choirs do give off this very church gospel-like feeling, probably more so compared to previous songs on the album. If you're not into those kind of churchy, gospel-y, almost religious kind of songs and music, this may not be for you. But if you don't mind that kind of stuff and you like a bit of that gospel choir singing, you might like this song fine. And speaking of religion, the next song is If There's a God in Heaven, What's He Waiting For? Continues these kind of undertones, or rather overtones, accompanied by piano, Hammond organs, guitars, conga drums, and a stringed orchestra. Elton recalls about poor people starving and suffering, while rich people make profits of millions at the expense of innocent lives. With this, he goes on to question the existence of God, and what's he even waiting for? Well, clearly he's waiting for COVID to end, so he could actually properly interact with people once more. Or he's waiting for the next History of Power Rangers video. That's a possibility too. Anyways, we also happen to have another short, sweet guitar solo by Caleb Quaid halfway through the song, and just like most of the guitar work in the album, this solo alone is pretty nifty and pretty cool. The song as a whole is much brighter than the previous track, even if it has generally the similar mood and tone, and it also has a very good, engaging, and interesting message about questioning religions, but not exactly bashing them at the same time. But honestly, I would think God would really have to exist if there were to be music this good. The next track is simply titled Idol. A much quieter and slower piano jazz piece. Elton sings about a light star who, despite being born uneven, he trips on live wires and kind of has a whole musical career in the 50s. Likely a rock singer or rock and roll singer or a film star. But as the decades shifted by, he starts to notice his face changing and feeling he's not the same anymore, despite still being an idol to many people's eyes. And the singer himself goes on to say that he still likes his music regardless, despite admitting that the said idol is a bit tight-fisted, highly prized, and is essentially a crush to many schoolgirls' eyes. The music itself sounds like something you'd hear an old 40s band play at a bar or something, and the song closes out with Michael Brecker doing another short and sweet saxophone solo after doing similar saxophone stuff for Boogie Pilgrim and Shoulder Holster. Honestly, this may sound like the closest we'll ever get to an Elton John James Bond song. Imagine that in an alternate reality. An Elton John James Bond song. Imagine how that would have sounded. The penultimate track is called Theme from a Non-Existent TV Series. And yeah, it's exactly what it says on the tin. It's a 1 minute, 19-second instrumental that's pretty much made to sound like the music you'd hear during the opening or closing credits of an actual TV show. In a way, it's kind of like a bookend to the album, along with Your Starter 4, which began the album. While that one had a more lively, happy, hoppy feel to it, this one has a slightly more suspenseful, but still equally campy and silly tone and mood. In a way, I kind of wonder if there ever was an actual show that may have used this actual song as a potential theme, or maybe someone had an idea for a TV show just to have this song be used as its opening theme. Maybe though, maybe not. Maybe it was just Elton and Bernie just being the creative minds that they are, or maybe it's just for copyright. I don't know. Either way, it is another short and very simple but very interesting song out of Elton's discography. Then we go out on a whopper on this final song of Blue Moves, Bite Your Lip, Get Up and Dance. Not too much to say about this one. It's an epic party song with vibes similar to Saturday Night's Alright for Fighting that combines rock, disco and gospel music, where Elton sings about, basically just sings straight to the point and encouraging us to dance, kind of name dropping places like Chicago, Illinois, LA, etc., telling us to just move the muscle and shake the fat. Ooh, fat shaming anyone? Shame. But that joke aside, it's basically a simple but very epic dancey song that pretty much tells you to go along and dance with it as well. Over the 6+ minutes of this song, the instruments build up together into this almost crescendo before ending out on a proper slam dunk of a climax that you'd hear such a song end out on in like a live concert or something, thus bringing this whole blue moving adventure to a well-deserved close. And with all that said and done, this album, Blue Moves by Elton John, is actually very interesting. A very interesting album of its time. You can tell, I can understand why some people may have been a bit indifferent to it. Most of it's not too bright and vibrant as, say, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, but at the same time, it's not exactly as hated as, say, Leather Jackets. Many of the songs in it are very, very fun and very catchy, like the aforementioned final song, as well as others like One Horse Town, Boogie Pilgrim, and like Crazy Water and Shoulder Holster. Also, some of the instrumental pieces like Out of the Blue, Your Star 4, and Theme for a Non-Existent TV Series are very, very sweet but very kind of interesting ways to experiment with the kind of music that Bernie and Elton are often known for. And I can understand for some it may be better off as another single album instead of just trying to be a bloated double album, but still I still enjoy this album regardless, and it's quite adventurous, and it has a very ranged set of moods, being from bright and disco-y to sad, slow and somber. It may be blue, but it's also got the moves. So if you're a fan of Elton John, or if you want to get into his music of his 70s period, this may be a good recommendation. I recommend picking this up at, say, a music shop or a car boot sale like I have, and see if this is worthwhile in your collection. Next time for me, though, we'll go into week 4 of Anoraknoween, with yet another double album. This time, it's one from the 90s by Genesis.
Lord Mistress, did you sense that?
Indeed, I did sense it. The rage of a champion.
The Story Watcher?
No, not the Story Watcher himself, but another. A warrior. From across the seas of this planet Earth.
Should I find this warrior?
No, not yet. Gablor will deal with him soon enough. For you, you must keep your focus on the Story Watcher. Or at least, the different fractured people that he has reincarnated as. Keep your focus on them. Is that understood?
Yes, my master. Very much.
Good. Over and out. For now.